Unless you've been frozen in carbonite, you're probably aware there's a new Star Wars movie on the way. The trailer's only been viewed a couple of times though. And continuing episode 7's cryptic marketing, it gives very little away, which is great to see these days. But god damn it, couldn't they have given us something? Hang on a second, is that Yoda? Whoa, they did give us something. Completely imaginary. So in the absence of any real plot information, we thought we'd put together a list of all the things we hope to see in episode 8.
Now, answers in the Star Wars universe are something of a double-edged saber. We love the idea of an answer, but they're often underwhelming when spoken out loud.
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
I don't understand.
Me neither, Annie. Thankfully, Georgie Porgy's no longer at the helm, so there could be some very interesting morsels to come. Here's what we'd love to see in the new movie.
Rey's parents resolved! This one goes without saying, but we're saying it anyway. I know JJ loves his mystery box storytelling, but we just need an answer, and fast. It was such a ridiculous tease in The Force Awakens, and the original trilogy was never about teasing. It was clearly about merchandising. Yes, there were big reveals, but those reveals were based on misinformation, not dangling a Tatooine paddy frog in front of us and denying us a bite for 2 years. And those things are freaking delicious.
Ultimately though, will the revelation of Rey's parents even matter? After all this waiting, it bloody better. Possible spoiler alert, it's been heavily rumoured that the Force itself will be Rey's father. Like how Anakin was immaculately conceived. Easier that way, I suppose. I mean, imagine a guy getting impregnated by the Force. Mouth rape, anyone? Either way, we hope the Rey thing proves to be a rumour. George's so-called prequel poetry has drawn a lot of criticism.
They rhyme.
We don't need a rehash of the famous I am your father line. We need something wholly different and satisfying. Speaking of which,
a self-contained story that's not a rehash. Arguably, episode 7's most important job was to pass on the torch while introducing interesting new characters. And on the whole, it delivered those things in spades. Except for Phasma. What grated many people was the over-reliance on rehashing old plot points, like the new Death Star. Starkiller Base. In episode 8 we hope to see the storytelling evolve. There are millions of things you could do with Star Wars. Yes, it's fun to have the odd reference, but don't rely on that for your entire script.
Based on his body of work, Rian Johnson seems like a capable storyteller with some interesting ideas. Though Mark Hamill himself wasn't initially so sure on the new direction for Luke, Disney clearly has faith. It's not like they fired him during production. But it's fair to say Star Wars fans have a limited amount of goodwill left, especially after the prequels. Needless to say, if he messes this movie up, he will be forever on the naughty list and considered a Sith.
You are the chosen one!
So no pressure.
Force ghosts. The absence of Luke in The Force Awakens highlights another grey area, that being Force ghosts. Who can become one? How do they do it? And of course, why the fuck does Anakin still look like his younger self? Answers have partially been given in the Clone Wars TV show, but we'd love to know, is Luke hanging out with any Force ghosts on Ahch-To?
Gesundheit. Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia were digitally resurrected for Rogue One, so does that mean we'll see Alec Guinness return for Episode 8? Or Ewan McGregor? Or even Dexter Jetster? Hey, if Hayden could do it, you'd hope the others could too. Will the Yoda puppet return? Or even his younger CGI counterpart? Maybe the Emperor will make an appearance.
No.
If they do digitally resurrect cast members, there is one bonus, namely there's less pressure on a blue, translucent ghost to be photorealistic. Oh, Carrie Fisher's dead and now I feel bad.
Why is Ben Solo such a little bitch? Kylo Ren demonstrates that even in a galaxy far, far away, Generation Snowflake are causing problems. Chill the fuck out, bro. But how and why did he become such a little bitch? We learn in the scene between Leia and Han that they sent their son to train with Luke, worried that he'd be seduced by the dark side. Great parenting there, folks. What becomes apparent is that neither have seen their son during this time, meaning anything could have happened. Even an emo haircut. Oh, too late.
So why did he become so rebellious? Did Luke introduce some questionable new Jedi training techniques, like a priest among the choir boys? There has been speculation that Luke becomes a grey Jedi, a Force user that welcomes both light and dark sides, and several lines of the trailer do allude to this. I think we can all agree that the dogmatic side of the Jedi is somewhat off-putting. Okay, so I get this cool laser sword, and I'll be able to move shit with my mind, but no marriages or relationships. Tempting offer there, buddy.
Coming back to Kylo, if Luke did teach a more balanced approach to the Force, it would explain why the guy's so torn. These liberal teachings could well confuse younglings. And by the end of The Force Awakens, it's still not clear if Kylo's 100% dark. There have been rumours that there'll be a switcheroo, that he'll become good and Rey will turn out bad. Kylo's mangled up mass could be an indicator for possible change. So don't count on things being clear cut in the upcoming episodes. How powerful is Luke?
Luke's been away for a long time, and we're all curious to see how powerful the guy is, right? There's been much online discussion about a scrap scene from The Force Awakens where Luke uses the Force to stop an Imperial Star Destroyer entering the atmosphere of Ahch-To. Damn allergies. This would clearly demonstrate how far he's come since bullseyeing womp rats in his T-16 back home. But can we expect the scene to show up in The Last Jedi? Let's look back to the prequels for a little guidance. A sentence I never thought I'd say.
This was a period of abundance for the Jedi. We got to see some pretty impressive feats of power, but go too OTT and it almost devalues the Force. Like this, or this, and of course this. Look, most of the stuff in the prequels. Like Kirk Lazarus said, you never go full on Force user. It's easier to appreciate a good display of Force powers when they're utilized sparingly, in unexpected ways and with meaning. I mean, who didn't leave Rogue One wanting more Vader? Keeping Force power succinct and meaningful makes it all the more dramatic and positions things closer to the original trilogy. Even if Luke does display a massive amount of power in the first 5 minutes, which would be awesome, he wouldn't have to do much more beyond that to show us what a badass he's become.
So there's our thoughts on the new Star Wars. Obviously it's an exciting time to be a fan, so let us know in the comments what would you most like to see in the upcoming episode and beyond. The return of Jar Jar? Raised definitive midichlorian count? Or something else entirely? Thanks for watching. Please use your Force powers to thumb this video up. A thumbs down means you're a Sith. And click one of these to continue your doopy bro streak.